Good evening and welcome to I'm Chris Parnell.
Reporting from Moscow
to Tbilisi,
Times Square.
May your dreams be your only boundaries in life.
Welcome to Let's Talk Money. My name is Harvey Cook. I thank you for tuning in. A core value of our program is to celebrate the professional achievements of Memphians, and today I especially enjoy highlighting the achievements of the next generation of entrepreneurs. Today I am excited to have two special guests with me to discuss an exciting local company, BrownDog Lodge. Our first guest is Chip Brown, founder and owner. And for the first time ever on Let's Talk Money, we have a four-legged guest named Red. So without further ado, let's talk money. Chip, welcome to the show.
Great, thank you.
Red, welcome to you as well.
Hey, what's up?
There you go.
Well, thank you for having us.
Chip, tell us a little bit about BrownDog Lodge, how it got started, etc.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks for having me. And Red certainly does like being on TV as well. He's acting pretty well. Dogs were always a hobby of mine, as well as a summer job during college. And then out of college, I was in commercial real estate for about 7 or 8 years. And then finally in 2007, opened BrownDog Lodge. I just saw a niche that I felt like Memphis needed nicer accommodations for boarding, grooming, and daycare in a convenient part of town. And with that, we took the leap and started then. And then recently we've expanded and actually opened a second location out here in Germantown.
Good, good. Tell us what some of the benefits of your services are. I know you've talked about doggy daycare.
Right. Well, I'll talk about the boarding first, and that is our accommodations are much like home with TVs and webcams in them, and very nice and comfortable for the dogs, so it makes their time away from home more enjoyable for them. Regarding the daycare, it's just like a children's daycare where the dogs come and play for the day while you're at work. And we have staff in there with them that play with them, love on them, take care of them. And the benefits are a lot. They get a lot of exercise, which we all need. They socialize with the other dogs in their play group and meet new friends. And they just learn to be tolerant. This little guy was an adopted dog, and he really didn't like strangers or other dogs, but over the years he's really got comfortable, I think primarily through daycare, with other people and other dogs, where he actually could sit in a set like this right now.
Yeah, I believe I just heard you say that they have TV and webcams.
That's right.
You want to talk about that a minute?
We don't have kennels. We have luxury suites. So we're just a hotel for dogs, just like a hotel where you would go to.
Right.
And in those luxury suites, we have a TV that they could watch, which really is just to make it more similar to them living at home in the den. And then we do have webcams, which people love, and that's both in the daycare as well as in the boarding, where if you're out of town, you could be in China or somewhere across the globe, and you could log into our website through the internet and see your dog live on TV and see that he's safe and well cared for.
And I might mention to our viewers that I came by and had a tour
Right.
a couple of days ago, and it was interesting to see that on the bed you had headboards.
That's
for,
right.
for the dogs, which I thought was great. I know a lot of adults that don't even have a headboard.
Yeah, they have a headboard and a footboard. So
right.
we really try to give them very nice accommodations so they're very comfortable. The more comfortable they are, healthier for them, easier job for us.
Right, right.
So, and hopefully they'll want to come back.
I know you've opened in the recent past a second location out in Germantown, out east.
Right.
You want to talk about that a little bit, and why did you open that, and how that's been going?
Yeah, absolutely. We have been very well received in East Memphis since we opened in 2007. Our customers have been great. I think they've really seen the value in our services that we offer. And we truly, the folks that we hire, first of all, make sure they love the dogs. And so everybody that works there loves the dogs. and treats them accordingly. So we've really taken care of our customers. With that, we've grown, and we have had a lot of customers further east, Germantown, Collierville, Cordova, that maybe we were just a little too far for them to come into East Memphis, which is, that location is near Poplar and Mendenhall. So last year we opened this new location, which is on Germantown Parkway right by the Wolf River. There's a Lowe's home improvement store,
Sure.
and we're right across the parking lot from them. And it's really been convenient for those customers that live further east. And so far it's been great. We've got good neighbors with Germantown Mini Storage, and then Car Wash USA just opened up. So we've got a lot going on out there.
So people can come and drop their dog off and have their car washed.
They can get their car washed, they can get their dog washed, and they go to Lowe's and
pick up what they need.
Get some household items.
Pretty good deal.
So it works out pretty well.
You changed careers, as you said, about 8 or 9 years ago.
I did.
If there are some people who are listening to the show
Sure.
that are thinking about making a change like that, starting their own business and feeling the anxiety that you probably did, what would you tell them? How would you guide them?
Right. Well, you always need to do something that you really enjoy. And I did commercial real estate, and I still do commercial real estate a little bit, which I enjoy. But I always had that entrepreneur bug. I want to do something of my own. And dogs were a hobby. And when I realized, I could maybe make a living out of it, doing something that I really love to do, then my wheels started turning, and I started looking for that opportunity. And the hardest part, honestly, you need to do your research, you need to make wise decisions, but at some point you've just got to make the decision to do it. And taking that step, and as people say, the leap of faith, which truly is just a leap of faith, that's the hardest part. And then once you start, there's options really, failure is just really not an option, and you use all the resources at your ability to make it happen. I was given a book by my aunt, which was very helpful. It's called The Dream Giver, and it was a faith-based book that really helped you see beyond the fears and step through those fears to actually make your dream a reality. That helped me, and just having good mentors and people that have done it before you to make it not as scary.
If someone were listening now that's thinking of doing that, would you welcome a call from them for some advice?
Absolutely. I love to help other people that want to try to do their own thing, and I'm pretty busy with the various ventures, but I certainly would love to carve out time to speak to people if I can help them in any way make their dream come true like mine.
Great. We're going to pause now for a couple of minutes. Stay tuned, and we'll be back after a short break.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much. Oh boy, thank you.
You make me feel so young.
Think young. Pass it
You
on.
make me feel so spring has sprung.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Money. If you are just tuning in, I'm Harvey Cook, and today we've been talking with Chip Brown, who's the owner of BrownDog Lodge, to learn more about his vision and management advice. And of course, we are also thrilled to have his dog Red, who's joined us as well. Chip, tell us a little bit about Red, how you got Red, and maybe some aspects of that might help our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. He is a wonderful dog. Red is a rescue dog. We adopted him in 2010, I think, from a group called Good Dog Rescue, and they're one of several wonderful rescue organizations that we have here in town. And they'll get dogs off the streets or out of the shelters and then try to find them forever homes such as ours. And if you can't guess already, we named him Red because we think he looks like a red fox. And he's just really a sweet guy, and it's very rewarding to adopt a dog all the dogs out there are wonderful, but there's a real special bond between these adopted dogs and their owners like us. And I always notice that with our customers at BrownDog Lodge, because a lot of our customers, they have adopted dogs from these rescue groups. And I just noticed how loved they were. And until we adopted one of our own, it's hard to really understand. But they're wonderful dogs and a lot of great opportunities out there to adopt one.
And what's that process like? Is it hard to do that?
It's not too hard, but I do commend the rescue groups. They don't just let anyone adopt a dog. They will evaluate you and make sure you're the right fit for the dog. And in fact, there was another dog we had looked at before, Red, and they suggested that maybe he wasn't the best fit for us because he wasn't great with young kids, and our children were young at that time. Really? So it was good advice. And then they said, but Red over here is up for adoption, and we said, yeah, you're kind of cute.
That's cool.
So it's a great organization. Any of these groups are, and it's very rewarding to adopt a dog like Red. They need a forever home, and there's lots of them out there.
Right. Chip, tell us about some of the difficult decisions that you had to make early on about your business, and maybe how that turned out.
Right.
And then maybe some of the difficult decisions that you've had to make later.
Sure.
And how that's turned out.
Well, as I mentioned, the biggest decision was just making that first step. And at the time, that was 2007, fall of 2007. And then we opened, we opened December of 07. And then I think the economists have pegged December 2007 as the start of this great recession that we had. Right. So I was, it was very timely, good and bad, when I opened my business. So we opened, then the economy fell out. And at that point, there was no turning back. We just had to make do with what we have. So we worked hard and just fight through the economic challenge that we had at the time. Right. Finding the right people is always a challenge. We feel real fortunate with the group we have right now. Early on, I would kind of hire anyone that had pet care experience, but then I realized those aren't always the best either. You need to hire the person, the personality, those that love the dogs, have patience for the dogs, and work well with each other. And then we can teach them our way of managing and taking care of the dogs. And that's been really helpful. And we've got a wonderful staff at both locations now.
And how do you go about attracting the best kind of applicants?
Word of mouth helps a lot. First thing we do is talk to our existing employees and ask them if they've got any friends or relatives that they know would like to be in this industry, because we know they're coming to us with a great reference already, and that's the person that we already trust working with us. That's our first avenue, and then we'll use some online resources to try to seek people out as well and comb through that to find the right folks. And
once you get a good employee, what do you do proactively to try to keep that person, make them happy?
Well, we try to treat everyone like family, first of all, and just treat each other as we would want to be treated. And then, of course, we try to pay fairly and provide them a fun place to work. All of our staff, they're allowed to bring their dogs to work, which for those that don't own a dog, that's not that big of a deal to them, but those that do, that's a wonderful benefit. They get to bring their dog to work and have fun with them as well. So we really try to treat each other right and do fun things together and enjoy the dogs and the customers.
Right. And do you have a formal training program, or is it pretty much on-the-job training?
Primarily on-the-job training,
right.
And then we'll seek outside help as well. Like next week, we've got a staff meeting, and we have a local vet coming in to speak with us and teach us about pet CPR and basic first aid to help all of us be well trained when we need to use it in an emergency or just a minor wound care.
Right.
So, but primarily, most of all the training is right there on the job. We pair them up with another employee, and then we have also one manager that's designated that goes between both of our locations to train all of our new hires. How to bathe the dog, how to handle them in daycare, how to greet the customer, how to clean a room, the basics of that. We have one person try to teach them the same way every time.
Right. You know, based on your experience in hiring people and training them and what have you, do you have some advice for people who may be listening to the show that are thinking about applying for a job, what they might want to do when they're applying for a job to try to get the attention of an employer?
Right. really maybe do a little research on who you're interviewing with. And, but backing up before that, seek out those jobs that you think you would really enjoy. Don't just apply because you need a job somewhere. Really find something that you think you would be passionate about and seek those jobs out. And as a business owner and an interviewer, you can really tell fairly early on whether the person's into it or they're not. And we want to hire somebody that's into it, that loves their pets. In fact, one of our most recent hires, she came in and brought her 2 dogs with us.
Really?
And that would be a deal killer at a lot of
Yeah,
places. But
yeah.
for us, we welcome that. And it showed that she had just moved to town, didn't have a place to keep her dogs. She wasn't going to leave them in a hot car on a summer day.
Right.
So can I bring them on in? So the dogs played under the conference room table while we
That's great.
while we interviewed her.
That's a great story.
So they just need to really be excited about where they're interviewing,
Sure.
and then do a little research and just go in prepared. And
Have you made any mistakes in hiring that you've learned from?
of course, and we've made lots of mistakes, and we learn all the time from our mistakes and try to improve. Really back to just assuming that anyone that has worked in a pet care business or has prior pet care experience,
Right.
that they are the perfect candidate, and then that's not always the case. We had to kind of adjust our strategy and realize that let's hire the person, let's hire the love for the animal before just the skills that are listed on a resume.
Right, right.
So, but you know, it's been a great business. We really enjoy it, and it has grown, and the dogs seem to really enjoy our services. So when we see them pull loose from their owners and run in the door, that's a great compliment to us. We love to see that.
It's a great reward, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It says that we're doing something
One
right.
last question before I break. Knowing what you know now about running your own business, is there anything that you might have done earlier in your life that would have prepared you for this? Would you have done anything different?
Wow, that's a great question. Maybe do it sooner.
Let's see.
Right out of college or right out of high school, whatever you choose to do, is you feel like you've got a whole lot of obligations in life, and it's hard to take that risk, but the truth is you probably don't have a whole lot compared to when you're a little bit older. So take the leap. You know, it's earlier, sooner rather than later. That's probably, I wish I had done it right out of college.
Yeah, it's great.
Though I loved my real estate career, it was a great start for me.
It's good advice. That's
Yeah.
good advice. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll finish up this discussion with our guest, Chip Brown.
Everybody needs a helping hand. Take a look at your fellow man and tell me what can I do today.
Hey, let me get that for you.
Everybody needs a helping out. If that ain't what it's all about, tell me what.
Thank you, young man.
What can I
No problem.
do? What can I do today?
Courtesy. Pass it on.
I got it.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Make a difference. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Money. Today we've been honored to have Chip Brown, owner of BrownDog Lodge, with us. With just a little time left, we want to jump back and finish the discussion that we've been having. Also, maybe have a little discussion here with Red.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell us a little bit about, I mean, you're the owner, and it's a relatively small business, and I work for a big company, and we've got IT department, we've got HR department, we've got operations, we've got advertising, public relations, and I assume you're doing all of that.
I am.
How do you do that?
It's a challenge, And it takes time to be able to kind of let go of some of that and allow others to do it and trust others to do it. But yes, from the very beginning, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, a lot of people want to own their own business. They may love the pet industry, they may love the whatever industry you're in, and I can do this, but what they don't realize is all the other stuff that's involved. You have payroll, you have paying your bills, you have sitting down with employees, dealing with a concern they may have, or you have hiring employees or disciplining an employee. And you have certainly customers that you need to take care of and quality control. So there's a lot going on that you have to manage. And you really have to, at some point, have confidence enough in your staff to be able to let go and allow other people to help you. And I've done that over time. I still do the payroll and pay all the bills. I've got someone that comes in and helps me periodically with that. With marketing, I utilize my sister's resources. She's very good at marketing and public relations and stuff, so I give her some free services with her dogs, and in exchange she can put together my mailers and flyers and help me with social media posts and so forth. So you have to utilize other people because you can't always do it yourself.
Right.
And I'm learning more and more of that as now I've expanded into 2 locations. So I can't be at 2 places at once, and I've doubled the amount of bills and staff that we need. And so I've really had to lean on and trust my staff to help me with that.
And have you, from the beginning, since the beginning, have you had to do any financing?
I did. We had a business loan from when we first started, and there's several different avenues you can go with that. You could go through the Small Business Administration, you could go through some private funding sources, or you can go to a bank and try to get a loan. And I went the bank route. Now, I was fortunate enough to find a business partner that would back me up, that not with his own money, but just going to the bank with me to help get that loan. And that was really helpful. It's nice to have a mentor and a supporter behind you to sort of help you through that process. So, and you know, banks and individuals and financial institutions are really eager to invest in people and invest in ideas if you can put it together in a logical format and ask. So that's another part that I guess I forgot to mention is just going to find the funding.
Right.
You just you have to put it together, have a business plan, and go ask. And you'd be surprised on the doors it might open for you.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears a minute, Chip, if we can, and talk about from the standpoint of being a dog owner.
Sure.
Let's say that I'm a dog owner. What options do I have for care like you've been talking about? Right.
There are a variety of different options out there. You have your local vet clinics that a lot of them do similar services we do. They board dogs and groom dogs and obviously do their vaccinations and so forth. You have pet hotels like we are that are small, boutique, locally owned. You have larger ones like the national retail chains or national franchises or whatnot. So there's multiple options. And I would encourage those that are looking for a place is to find a place that they trust. Walk in and visit with them. Please ask for a tour. If someone doesn't take you beyond the lobby, it's probably not somebody you're most comfortable with. We're very transparent. We've got glass looking in our grooming room. Like I showed you earlier in the week when you visited BrownDog Lodge, it would take you basically anywhere you want to go. So ask the questions. And we're locally owned. We're right here in Memphis. I'm born and raised right in Memphis, and it is a family business, and we've grown it from the start. So this is our life, and this is what we do, and we love on the dogs. And we're small. We don't have 100 kennel suites. We have 30 in one location and around 50 in another. So we're smaller and boutique, where the dogs are really known by name. We know our customers.
And I will say I'm not on this show to try to promote your business, but I was very impressed by what I saw.
Well, thank you.
And especially by the commitment that I saw there, the people that are working for it.
Well, thank you. I'll tell you, Memphis is a very dog-loving community, and even the businesses like mine that are out there. We're all in it for the sake of these dogs, and there's a lot of great people and companies out there and rescue groups that take care of these dogs. We try really hard. So.
And if someone wanted a dog, but they didn't want to go the rescue route and they wanted to buy a dog, what advice would you have for them?
Well, probably everybody's going to start on the internet and look around what's out there. I would just dig deep and make sure, see what breeders you're dealing with and what their background is. Do some reviews on them and see if they're treating the dogs well. But there's some wonderful breeders out there that have some great dogs. There's, like I said, great rescue groups. There's also some out there that probably don't run a very ethical operation and healthy dogs. You want to make sure you're dealing with the right folks. So just my advice would be do your research and go with your gut feeling. If something doesn't seem right, then you might want to go a different route.
Chip, we've only got less than a minute left. Can you tell our viewers if they wanted to contact you, how they would do that?
Absolutely, thanks. We, like I said, we have 2 locations, one in East Memphis, one out here in Germantown, and our website's BrownDogLodge.com. So BrownDogLodge.com has got all of our information, and then our East Memphis, it's 901-767-1187, and then in Germantown, our phone number is 266-9100. But you can start with our website, again, BrownDogLodge.com, and it'll get you all the information you need. Great. And of course, we're on the social media like everybody else, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So.
Super. Once again, we want to thank our guest, Chip and Red, for joining us today. We hope this show has provided valuable insight into the keys to success both professionally and personally. And we encourage each of you in the future, in your future endeavors to learn more about Brown Dog Lodge. Visit their website at BrownDogLodge.com or call them at 767-1187. We hope you will join us again next month on Let's Talk Money.